Hey everyone, what is going on? So we have more content. I'm doing another Road to Ranked 10 series and using this team Charizard, Togekiss, and Magnezone. Now, I got this Charizard idea from Dark Matter Wolf. Definitely go ahead and watch his streams on Twitch. They are absolutely amazing. And, he was saying, and I agree, a lot of people lead Metagross, so I wanted to lead Charizard. Now, obviously, in the first match, we actually lose that lead, so I'm going to bail into my Magnezone. He switches into his Snorlax, but this is actually still not bad for me because you have to keep in mind Magnezone does resist Body Slam, and these Wild Charges are going to do a lot of damage. After this box, should be enough to knock out the Snorlax with 2 Wild Charges, but I am going to go ahead and go for the bait, the Mirror Shot right now, and Snorlax does shield, so we do successfully get that. Now, because of how low I am, and because I was debuffed, I don't think I could take a Body Slam, so I am going to go ahead and opt to shield that, and get to my Wild Charge, so we do go ahead and go for that Wild Charge right now. Either taking the last shield or knocking him out, right? So we do go ahead and actually not knock out. He literally survives with 1 HP, so this Body Slam would be enough. So I decide to throw my last shield on there. I was thinking of letting Magnezone go down, but I decided to use my last shield. Now let's see what decides to come in. She decides to bring in the Gyarados and farm me down. Totally fine, I was double debuffed, so able to farm me down with Waterfall. I do bring in my Togekiss, she switches to Metagross, I bail immediately into Charizard. So here comes Charizard, even though we lost the lead, she still had a Metagross in the back, and I switched out, so I have my Charizard in the back. That's why I double shielded the Snorlax, because I wanted to make sure the Charizard was lined up against the Metagross. So we still take a lot from Media Mash. You know, it's not a super hard counter because of that, right? But we're still able to win. We do bluff with the Dragon Claw, and now we go for the Blast Burn, and we're able to knock out this Metagross just fine. So Metagross goes down. In comes Gyarados, which is easily going to delete me with that Waterfall. But we have Togekiss, and I was like, oh no, if this is a Hydro Pump, we're actually more than likely going to lose. But she doesn't have enough, or she doesn't have Hydro Pump. And we're able to win that one. So despite losing that lead, not catching a Metagross lead, we still were actually able to pull that one off because we saved the Charizard for that Metagross. So really well played on my opponent's end, but we're able to pull it off. So we're going to jump into the next game, and we'll see what happens. So we have my opponent. I'm leading with Charizard. Okay, Snorlax. I mean, more or less a neutral matchup. I mean, it's not great. It's not a Metagross. But look how much damage we're taking from Lick. A lot of damage. So I contemplated shielding this one, but I decided to take the first Body Slam. And we're going to go ahead and charge up a lot of energy and go straight Blast Burn. I don't want to risk them calling the bait and not shielding. Because Snorlax can take a Blast Burn anyway. Look how bulky that is. So I really do want to win the lead, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up. Going to be a Body Slam, and we're going to go ahead and farm energy and go for that Dragon Claw. Now, I kind of was expecting the shield coming out from the Snorlax, so the shield does come out, and I'm like, can I get to one more? Can I? Barely cannot get to it, so that Snorlax is able to beat me. I bring in my Magnezone, and my goal here is just to farm down. Now, obviously, I'm afraid of not only the Earthquake, but the Superpower, and luckily we shielded that because I almost didn't. But we're able to farm down, and we have a lot of energy. They do have a shield advantage as well as switch advantage, but they bring in Metagross, which is not a good answer to Magnezone unless we can get off the Earthquake. So we go for Wild Charge. Now I'm going to go ahead and bait with Mirror Shot. I am expecting them to shield and go for the Earthquake, so I do go for that Mirror Shot. And I'm trying to get to this Wild Charge. Unfortunately, they do get to a Charge Attack first, but that's totally fine. But it's only a Media Mash. So we're actually able to get to the Wild Charge. So either they don't have Earthquake, they have Psychic, or they thought they couldn't make it to an Earthquake. I'm not really sure why, which was the answer. But either way, that was lucky for us. So we do bring in Togekiss. And, okay, he does get to an Ancient Power before us. But we could actually barely hang on because of the Ancient Power nerf. And we're going to be able to get to an Ancient Power as well. And do a good amount of damage to this Togekiss. Let's see. Not enough to knock it out, but one more charm will be, and we're actually able to win that game. So we lost the lead again, but we're still able to win it. Magnezone is an absolute monster, guys. I am telling you, if it has shield, if it has energy, if it has an energy advantage, it definitely goes to town. So this is another bad matchup. So we're losing leads left and right. So Charizard vs Dragonite, we're going to bail into Magnezone. I didn't want to go into my hard counter, so I do go into Magnezone. Now, a little bit of lag. Now the thing is, Dragonite actually does pretty well against Magnezone, but it's kind of like more or less an even matchup, I think. But anyway, they switch into Metagross, and that's actually fantastic for me because we're at an energy advantage. and that's even better than if it was just a Metagross lead. So we're going to be able to definitely take this matchup. We do get the shield with Mirror Shot. The attack fell, but we get to another Wild Charge. So look how fast Magnezone is. We did have a little bit of lag. I don't think that necessarily affected anything, but you know, it may have. Either way, we take both shields. Actually going to go ahead and go for another Mirror Shot. I knew this wouldn't knock it out, but I thought I could do some damage to it and then farm down and have extra damage for whatever comes in. But obviously I will have to use my last shield because I didn't think I could reach a Wild Charge in time before they got to a Meteor Mesh. So we do farm down, and we have a shield as well as energy. So in comes Dragonite, and they pull a switch into Togekiss to catch this Wild Charge. That's beautiful for me because this Wild Charge is super effective. Gonna do a lot of damage. I know I'm debuffed. I'm just going to allow my Magnezone to go down. I bring in Charizard. I'm going to go ahead and farm down that Togekiss. In comes Dragonite, totally fine. Saving my shield. We do have that Togekiss in the back. Now, Togekiss obviously does beat Dragonite, but Hurricane does do a lot. If you've been hit with a Hurricane, it does do a lot, you know. So we're going to go ahead and get off a lot of damage with Charizard and then bail into Togekiss, and we're safe at this point. We're just going to be able to farm down. So we're actually able to win that. Again, losing that lead, right? Leading Charizard into Dragonite, but they didn't really have a great answer to Magnezone. So we're jumping into the next game. Magnezone is a really good safe switch. It's not invincible. They could have something like Gauss Chomp or Excadrill, which will be good against Magnezone, right? But overall, Magnezone, pretty safe switch. So they actually lead into... We had a positive lead. They switch out into Gauss Chomp. I'm going to bail a little bit slow on the switch, but since it's against a Gauss Chomp with my Togekiss, it's actually okay to be slow on the switch, unless if they had Fire Blast. I've mentioned that before. Gauss Chomp can carry Fire Blast, but I'd be very surprised to see it, so I'm 100% not expecting it. So if you do run Fire Blast on your Gauss Chomp, just go for the nuke. Don't bluff against the Togekiss, because I doubt it's going to be shielded. Nobody's expecting the Fire Blast. Some people might not even realize that Gauss Chomp can get it, right? So we go for the Ancient Power, and okay, at this point, they're going to be able to farm me down. We're going to do a lot of damage to them before we go down, though, and Togekiss already knocked out the Gauss Chomp and got this Togekiss really low. So obviously, I know a Charge Attack will be coming out. I'm going to bring in my Magnezone. I do want to farm down. I know the Flamethrower is a possibility, so I am going to go ahead and shield. Of course, can't take that. It would have gotten me super low, so I'm going to be able to farm down. Chomp still does a decent amount to Magnezone, even though it resists it. So my opponent actually backs out. We were loaded on energy. I don't know what they had, but we had tons of energy on Magnezone. So we're going to do another game. And same team. You know, I think I have, I don't know, I want to say 10 battles in this video for you guys. We'll see how we do. So I'm going to lead with my Charizard again versus Togekiss. So this is another favorable matchup. And we just have to get to the Blast Burn, of course, but we do have to be careful for the switch. And charging up extra energy, there they go, into Dragonite. I'm going to go ahead and bail into my Togekiss. So similar to the Gauss Chomp, we're going to just farm down. Of course, we do have to watch out for the Hurricane, as I mentioned. I think I shield this. No, never mind, I don't. And it is a Hurricane. I guess I decided not to shield it because I knew I could take it anyway. And if they have a Metagross, I don't want them to farm me down from a high range. So that's why I ultimately decided to take the Hurricane anyway, because I knew I could and I didn't want to be farmed. So I do go for the Ancient Power. No shield coming out from them. They're going to be able to farm me down. That's totally fine. I bring in my Magnezone again. Similar to last game, I believe I just want to farm down. Although this has a little bit more HP, they do go for the bait and get the boost. So at this point, I'm like, okay, now I'm not farming down. Now I'm going straight Mirror Shot. Super effective. This should be enough. But they shield, which is actually fine. We do get an attack drop, so at this point, I'm going to farm down. But they actually pull the switch into Metagross. Beautiful. So we're going to go back-to-back Wild Charge. They can only shield one because they only have one shield. So we go for that Wild Charge. No shield. I do switch immediately into my Charizard. Lag a little bit, and I go for the Dragon Claw. I don't know why I didn't go for Blast Burn, but they actually don't shield. But that's totally fine. That's totally fine with me. I'm going to go ahead and shield this one. Probably a little bit bad of me. I should have went for that Blast Burn immediately and knocked out Metagross, but that's totally fine. Anyway, I'm not going to click on my Dragon Claw so I could farm down a little bit more because I was not expecting the shield. And they bring in their Togekiss, and that Togekiss literally has 1 HP, so I'm just going to go Dragon Claw. And they will shield that, and we could just knock out with Fire Spin. So we do safely and comfortably win that game, but yeah, very well played on my opponent's end. And very good game. So as you can see, 5-0 in the first set. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up my rewards. We do get a Snivy. I'm hoping they remove these Unova Pokemon for the next season, you know. So 26, 34. Okay, I like it. So jumping into the next set. Okay, let's see what we've got going for us. So we're going to lead with Charizard versus Swampert. So this is a terrible matchup, right? So obviously we're going to have to switch. I don't want to switch in, you know, I really have to switch into Togekiss because my other Pokemon, Magnezone, is not going to do well against Swampert. So Swampert's a good answer to this team, right? So Charge Attack coming out, going to be that Meteor Mash. I'm just going to let Togekiss go down so I could farm up with my Charizard. Maybe not all the way down, or maybe I do farm all the way down. Let's see. So I'm going to take this. It's going to do a lot even though I resist it because Meteor Mash is so powerful. But we're going to be able to take it. Do I attempt to farm down? Do I throw the Dragon Claw? I do farm down. Okay, so I am super low. My goal at this... I knew Swampert was coming back in, right? So my goal is to just... Oh, no, never mind. Togekiss is coming back in. I thought Swampert was coming in, which is not good for me because I have Magnezone. I wish Swampert came in. But anyway, the shield comes up. I bring in my Magnezone. That's not looking good. I mean, Wild Charge is like double resisted to Swampert. Mirror Shot is resisted. So it's definitely not a good situation for me. I am going to go ahead and go for the Mirror Shot. Hoping to at least get the shield. They're not going to shield. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave the game. There's no way I could have won that. If they had brought in Swampert and I got off a Blast Burn, I could have possibly won. Or, you know, a Blast Burn or two, maybe. I don't know. But no, they made the correct decision to bring in Togekiss. So well played. Okay, my next opponent, she's going to lead with Metagross, so definitely favorable for my Charizard. And Metagross going to switch, trying to catch the Blast Burn. I'm not going to allow it to happen. I do switch into my Togekiss. Luckily, this is a Dragon Breath variant. Even if it was a Waterfall one, it still favors Togekiss. But, you know, it's always nice to see that Dragon Breath variant, right? I don't know which one I like more. Probably Waterfall in this format, but either way, we do go ahead and farm down. We lose a shield to protect ourselves, but I know the Metagross is going to come in, so I'm getting ready to go for the Flamethrower. I probably should start bluffing this against Metagross because the shield always comes up, so I should have bluffed and attempted to, because now they can farm me down, so I should have bluffed and then I would have been able to get to another Flamethrower. I think I can't get to another Flamethrower now. I can only get to an Ancient Power. If I had reversed it, I could have gotten to a Flamethrower, but they double shield, so it doesn't, you know, matter to me. They were probably afraid of it. Totally fine. So I actually didn't click on the Blast Burn immediately. I should have, but it's okay because we're able to take Meteor Mash. So I do click on the Blast Burn now, and this Blast Burn is going to be enough to knock out that Metagross. So Charizard does clean up that Metagross. In comes Dragonite. I switch into my Magnezone. Now, Dragonite can actually beat Magnezone, but when your opponent doesn't have any shield, Magnezone only needs 2 Wild Charge to win, and it's going to be able to win. Dragon Breath is doing a lot of damage, but at the same time, it's resisted. So we're going to be able to get to Wild Charge number 1. Again, they have no shields, and Wild Charge number 2 is going to be able to knock it out. So Magnezone, an absolute monster. I absolutely love it. I 100% love it. So we're able to win that game. Really well played to my opponent. But yeah, let me know what team you're having success with in the Premier Cup. And do you prefer the Premier Cup or do you prefer the Master League? I am going to be trying out the regular Master League as well. But yeah, looking for my next opponent right now. See who we can find. You know, I was thinking rank 10 wouldn't happen for me this season, but you know what? We've been climbing since Master League and Premier Cup began, so maybe, you know, maybe. So leading with that Charizard versus Dragonite. So again, not a good matchup. So we're going to go ahead and bail. I'm going to bail into my Magnezone, and they actually stopped attacking. That was not lag. They were like, probably didn't have a great answer to it, so they bring in Metagross, which is not a good answer. That's actually a bad answer to Magnezone, because I'm definitely going to shield, and Magnezone actually just outright beats Metagross. So I'm going to go ahead and go for this Mirror Shot that is going to be shielded, and they are going to go for a Charge Attack. Definitely cannot... Oh, I don't shield. It's a Meteor Mash. Wow, I cannot believe I didn't shield that. Why did I not shield that? I mean, I guess I was that confident that it was a bluff. Maybe I was counting at that time, and I knew they didn't have enough for Earthquake. I should have definitely shielded that. I don't know why I didn't shield that, guys. But either way, as you can see, I experienced a lot of lag and my Magnezone goes off. I may have been able to get off another Charge Attack. Got a little bit more lag there. So at this point, I thought the game was going to turn around, and I was in a good position, but now not as good. So, but it's still Togekiss versus Dragonite. So I did shield that Dragonite because I was afraid of the Hurricane, but they baited me with the Dragon Claw. Now we have the Hurricane, so unfortunately that's not great. Cannot get to an Ancient Power. That lag definitely messed with me. So I'm going to bring in my Charizard. And I am going to go straight Blast Burn. I mean, I could have bluffed, but I was thinking, well, maybe they would think I was bluffing and not shield. But they do shield. Okay, so nice shield. So obviously I do have to shield this one. So we are going to go ahead and do just that. So it's going to be an Ancient Power. So we're going to be able to get to another Blast Burn. This will definitely be enough to knock out that Togekiss. No doubt about it. So Charizard does just that. In comes that Dragonite, and I was afraid he would get to another charge attack, so we actually still win it, but wow, that lag that I experienced, I thought was going to turn the tide of the battle. I kind of lost my concentration after that too, but we still win, so I'll take it. And we lost that lead too, right? I mean, it was Charizard versus Dragonite, yeah. So, okay, jumping into the next game, we actually air it out, so I didn't count as a loss or anything, so currently, we've played 3 games. We are 2-1 right now, so we air it out again, same opponent. I don't know what's going on. This happens occasionally. Unfortunately, it's okay. It happens to all of us. Okay, so we do find my next opponent. ZIOS Games. So Charizard versus Haxorus. Okay, so honestly, I knew Haxorus's moveset because I shoutcasted it, I think, last season in the regular Master League. So I knew it had counter. I know it has Night Slash. And I think like Dragon Pulse, Dragon Claw, I think Dragon Claw. So I still decided to face it because I wanted to see how much Dragon Claw would do. I knew it would do a good amount. It does a lot actually. So one more is going to be enough to knock it out. Not the bulkiest Pokemon, definitely a good one, but not the bulkiest. So Charizard going to go for a Dragon Claw that will be shielded. Even the Fire Spins are doing decent damage to Haxorus. So do I want to try and win the lead? Yes, I do. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this Night Slash. Obviously, we hope he doesn't get the boost. We are going to get to another Dragon Claw. If he decides to shield this, I can shield his incoming charge attack and farm down, I think. Or maybe I couldn't farm down because look how low I was. So anyway, Magnezone comes in, deletes me immediately, and I bring in my own Magnezone, but he's up a little bit, right? Because he farmed down, he got 1 extra from farming down my Charizard. So Wild Charge is going to hit me, and I'm actually glad because he lowered his defense, so my Wild Charge is actually going to do more unless if he shields it. So my Wild Charge is it? Nope, it's not going to connect. So he needs 1 Wild Charge to knock me out. This could possibly be a bait, but I'm not going to risk it. I am going to go ahead and shield. It is going to be a Wild Charge, so we do call that one correctly. His defense is double debuff, so at this point, this Wild Charge is enough to knock out that Magnezone. Shields it down. Magnezone goes down. In comes Gardevoir. So I'm like, oh, let me get off this Mirror Shot. Super effective. Super effective. And so we're going to get off the attack. It's going to do a lot of damage to a Gardevoir and then bring in Togekiss, and we're just going to be able to farm down. So pretty unique team for the most part. I mean, Gardevoir and Haxorus, but a pretty good team as well. So real props to my opponent. Really well played. I enjoyed that team as well. So we're going to jump into the next game. And this is the last one, I want to say. Currently 3-1 in this set. Let's see if we can go 4-1. So I lead with my Charizard versus Metagross. Beautiful. How many times have you seen a Metagross lead, guys? I know you see it all the time. Metagross switches into Togekiss. That's still good for me. But I'm like, you know what? I'd rather save my Charizard for that Metagross. So I'll bring in my Magnezone to go up against this Togekiss. So unfortunately, no shield coming out from that Togekiss. I was hoping, they would shield it. They do not. So I'm going to go ahead for another one. We're still able to knock it out and not debuff us, so that's good. In comes the Metagross, and again, that's still good for me. However, we're actually much lower, so they may be able to win this. Let's see. We already won the lead, though, so Wild Charge coming out, doing tremendous amount of damage. And, oh, they do get to a charge attack before I'm able to get to my Mirror Shot. I was going for Mirror Shot just for the chip damage, so we do get knocked out. I bring in my Charizard, trying to farm down. They switch into Mammoswine. So I'm going to go Blast Burn, go straight Blast Burn. They're not going to shield. They were expecting the bluff, and that Metagross comes in, and they're going to back out. And that's going to be a game. So yeah, really well played to all of my opponents in this video. So we go 5-0 and then 4-1, so a 9-1 set. And my Pokemon is Rufflet. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.